Hello, everyone. CES 2016. My name is Paul, and welcome to your Legion. We are here with Zotac, and I have Otto, who basically showed me around the suite today. Otto, can you kind of at least tell everybody what you got this year that is new and exciting?
Yeah, so we have a few new prototype mini PCs that will be set to release out in Q2. We also have new PCIe SSD that's coming out, and also we'll be featuring a new Waterblock prototype as well for our video cards.
Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and walk around the suite and show you what they got. I want to say thank you to Otto. Let's go ahead and take a look at Zotac's lineup. Of course, we're all familiar with Zotac's most famous lineup of their video cards. That's what Zotac is really known for. But they do have a lot of other items that they have brought to market over the years. But let's look at the 900 series of video cards that Zotac has for us. Of course, they start out with the GTX 950 now. Zotac is specifically NVIDIA-based video cards. They do use the GeForce video cards for their production models. So we start out with the GTX 950, and of course, we go straight on, well, if I don't knock it off the thing, but we can go straight on up here, and we go to the 970, and of course, the amp editions are Zotac's, I guess you could say, top of the line editions, and most of their amp editions you're going to have very good cooling on, and now, of course, everyone wants a backplate, and Zotac has been putting backplates on their higher end editions. Of course, the amps. But one of the most cherished ones that we have here is the 980 Ti Amp Extreme Edition. As you can see, it's a three-fan cooling system. It's got a beautiful. If we could get a little close up here. You can see the heatsink inside. The heatsink is very dense. It goes straight across. It's not one of those where you would basically have the fins that are not in the center over the actual GPU. It has fins and to disperse heat straight across underneath all the fans. So you're getting cooling straight across all three fans. It is a dual slot solution. As you can see, it requires two 8-pin power connectors, and there is a back plate to it. And when we review it, we'll talk about the power boost. Now that's kind of hard to do when you're holding a microphone, and hopefully it kind of worked. This is the first year that I'm using the mic, and I'm actually holding it, so you got to give me a little bit of a chance to kind of get used to what I'm doing. So now we're going to go over here to the ZBoxes. Mini PCs are becoming the way of, I guess you could say, life nowadays. Not a lot of people want the full-size desktops, and of course Zotac has thought about that. They've been making ZBoxes probably for about 5 to 7 years now, and they've expanded on their ZBox line. Right now, we're looking at a whole bunch of prototypes. These are not actually available at this time. Between Q1 and Q2, they will be getting launched. But they do have the new Intel Skylake systems in them, processors, mobile processors, which are very good. We have everything from compute sticks to, of course, the little Pico that Zotac is famous for. And basically, you know, this was the pre-compute stick, I guess you could say, which both do actually come with Windows 10 Home Edition on them, and they do have a license when you purchase them. Of course, now we go to our ZBoxes. This is something that you might be more familiar with. Zotac has been making ZBoxes for, again, like 5 to 7 years, if I remember correctly, and they have basically improved upon cooling, improved upon the types of systems that they're actually putting in there. They're actually, you know, years ago they were putting in atoms and Celerons. Now we're actually putting in actual Skylake chips. You know, the higher end, the Core i5s, the Core i3s. They still do, I guess, some AMD versions. I know that right here we do have a couple ZBoxes that might not have the AMD processors in them, but they actually do have AMD video. This has a 365 in it. This one does also. This would be your entry one, which is the EA740, and then we have the MA761. Difference between these, of course, is the processor. You got a little bit more hard drive space, but there's 3 display ports on this one, and you'll have 6 display ports on this one, and that's going through the back there. But of course, now we're talking about the AMD 365 video card in there, Radeon 365. So more, I guess you could say, let's say this is a workstation, and this is going to be an entry level, say, gaming system. So we could expect these to actually be coming out somewhere in the area of Q1, Q2. Now let's go ahead and look at something that you might not know, and I thought it was pretty cool. For those of you who follow Zotac, you might be aware that they do have their own line of SSDs now. They do have 3 different versions, 120 gig, a 240, and a 480. They are using the Phison controller, and the NAND is a Toshiba NAND in these. So of course you're going to get read and write speeds up to about 500 and 520 on all of them. It doesn't matter if you're going from the, actually there's 120, my bad. The 120 is actually 170 on the write speed and 500 on the read. But the 240 and the 480 are both 520 and 500. So they have the more popular Phison controller now, and the Toshiba NANDs. So we're going to go ahead and look at a cooling solution by Zotac. This is not Zotac's first attempt at a water cooling solution, but as you can see, Zotac will be coming out with a Waterblock now, and of course it's got standard fittings on it, so you could put that into any loop that you're going to be using. And just above that, if you'll notice that there is a PCIe SSD which is boasting 2,500 megabyte read speeds and 1,200 megabyte sequential writes. That is due out probably sometime in January, believe it or not, as per what Zotac told me. And of course the Waterblock is still more of a prototype. We might be seeing that more Q3, Q4. So a couple nice innovations there from Zotac, something that we're not used to seeing. And believe it or not, yes, Zotac is now making home security systems. So let's go take a quick look at that. And last but not least, let's meet Cozy. Cozy is actually a starter kit for a home security system. It has actually a 280 camera, which does tilt and vertical tilt 120 up and down. We have, of course, our little squawk box here, little plug, security plug, and a calling channel, I guess you could say. I'm not too familiar with it, so I'm going to read what Cozy is. It's the sensor, I'm sorry. So it's your sensor for a window. So it's just a basic operating system now to go wireless for a home security system. You have a small home, you might be looking into something like this. You 2, 3 cameras, hey, you're there. And that's it from Zotac. I want to say thank you, everybody. See you on the next one.